James Nicholas, now Korn Ferry winner. James, you've done a few interviews. How does it feel to be called a Korn Ferry winner?
Nobody's called me that yet.
Oh,
So
okay. All right.
they've said I've won. I obviously won the last week, but to hear that has a nice ring to it.
I mean, you've been at this, worked your ass off for a long time, James. Like, I know it's only like 48 hours. Has there been some reflection of the journey here?
You know what's funny is that I listened a lot to what Scotty has said about when he wins. He says work this hard for what 30 seconds, 30 minutes of glory. And when I was coming down the stretch, I didn't want to get ahead of myself, but it's hard to, not project and be like, oh, I'm going to win, I'm going to do this or and whatnot. But I did a really good job at staying in the moment. And then once I finished, all that euphoria, I had to do a lot of interviews, a lot of signing. It was a lot of like getting pulled away from my inner joy and excitement and whatnot. But like, yeah, those are things you have to do with determined sponsors and the kids there, and that was great. But once that all finished, it was about 5 p.m. and I just took my wife and go, hey, let's get out of here real quick. Let's walk down 18. And we actually went first. We walked into the 18 grandstand. We sat at the top of it, and we just like looked out at the green, and I was like look at this. Like I'm a fan of golf. I've been in these grandstands watching tournaments countless times, and as a kid watching the Buick Classic at Westchester Country Club, and being like, wow, like what would it be like to be out there and to sit there gave me the perspective, and it gave me the perspective to be like, what did I just do? Like, what did I just accomplish? And all those years and sacrifices and hard work and preparation and dedication to my craft. And we sat there and we talked and we walked through my career. Bogota, the Estera Golf Championship, was actually the first event that I ever traveled to as a professional golfer. So I was second alternate in 2020 before COVID because I finished 60th at Q school and I didn't get in. And I was there. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're gonna get in. People get food poisoning. You're fine." And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay. Like I'm gonna get into this tournament." I ended up sitting there all day on Thursday, didn't get in, and then flew home. But I really enjoyed
James, do you remember what
Bogota.
you shot on that course the first time you saw it? I don't know if I assume it's the same course.
So it was so that next year I got
Yeah.
in. I actually got into the tournament,
Yeah.
and I shot 79 on the big course.
Yeah. With the triple on the last.
Oh, trust me, I actually hit it down the right fairway. Which, okay,
Is
so
out of bounds now.
this
Yeah.
all ties into the same thing because it's now internal OB.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about, okay, if I do go right, it's out of bounds. If I go left, it's now out of bounds. So they made internal OB left and right on 18 versus back then when I first played it, you could just blast it anywhere and find it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was looking back doing some research in James shot. There was a course that luckily, I mean, rightfully so, they got rid of. It's super easy. But James shot 79-61 to miss the cut.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that. My caddy actually didn't show up for the second round because he had food poisoning. And
I was like, rightfully so. I mean, if you're going to skip 79.
I think he was like a little sick, and he's like, he's missing the cut anyway, so I'm not going to go.
Right.
But he was like in the bathroom all day, for lack of a better word. And he was like, I was watching the leaderboard, and like I was like, oh no, I have to work tomorrow. And they ended up missing by like 1 or 2, and it was pretty funny.
Okay, so I cut you off. So anyway, you went up to 18. You went to
and I have a video like on my phone. So then we walked down the grandstand. We walked up 18. I went to my divot, and I was just with my wife. We were arm in arm, and we're just walking down. I'm gonna post that video actually of us walking. So I took a video. I was like, this is something that we really need to remember and cherish. And we just sat there like on the ground, and we were like look at this. Like I got to play in front of, and I think that tournament has the most amount of fans out of any Korn Ferry Tour event. They all come out. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. And I was like, this felt like a PGA Tour event. I played in the US Open this year, and I felt it felt the same. Having these people roar when I hit the hit the shot, and I had so much support there in Colombia through the social media stuff and through all the stuff that I do, and it was unbelievable. But like to answer your question that you asked, sorry, I was long-winded, but I made sure to sit there and reflect in the moment, right after, not only 48 hours later, but in that moment, and really soak it in and enjoy it. Like look at the leaderboard and be like, wow, like that's me, like number one. Like I'm usually not up there. I haven't been up there before, so it was so special.
Yeah, and it was a little weird, James, because for those listening, they didn't they didn't regroup. after the third, they had played. I think you played like 28 holes, but
Mm-hmm.
Norman was done. Like I think you were. I checked the leaderboard. I think you were on like 12 or 13, and Norman was done. So it's so different because you know the number. There was a few people behind you, but for the most part, you knew the number, and it just doesn't happen very often in pro golf. Like often the leaders are like a hole ahead of you or 2 holes ahead of you. Was that different, James? Like to know what you had to get to instead of like, oh, Norman could do this or do that. It's like you had the number kind of set in front of you.
What's really funny is that I actually didn't look at leaderboard once all week. I had no idea where I stood the
Nice.
entire week. I asked Michael Glick when he finished. I think he finished second in Corrales like 4 years ago, and I
Hmm.
asked him because I had an opportunity to play with him, and I was like, "Hey, do you look at leaderboards?" And he goes, "Nope, I just do the best I can and see what happens." And I really took that to heart. And then in my head, I'm like, "Okay, I'm in the final second last groups. I knew the final tee time. You have an idea."
Yeah.
So I was playing, and then I was like, if I get to 20 under par, I don't see anybody else getting better than that. That was my goal. Bogey 14, sorry, bogey 13, birdie 14, then bogey 15. And then I get on 16T, and I was like, okay, I'm going to look at the leaderboard because I have 3 holes left, and there are some opportunities to do some, to make some risk reward
Yeah.
decisions. So I get to 16T, and I see Norman and Carson. Norman at 17, Carson at 16, and then me T2 at 16. I had 3 holes left, and I said, all right, like this is what I practice for. This is what I play for. And then I obviously birdie 16, and I had a par putt on 17, birdie putt on 17, about 23 feet, and I just miss it. And I was like, gosh dang it. Like I really wanted to just hit iron off 18, take all the risk out, lay up, hit it in the middle of the green, 2 putt, and walk away with the championship. But to be honest, I was talking with my wife about it last night. I am so glad that I didn't make that putt, and I was able to stand on 18T and be like, you know what? When am I ever going to have a chance to win a golf tournament with
Yeah.
1 or 2 good golf shots here? And to really like, sack up and just, go down there and just really commit and trust what I've been doing. And I think that I've learned so much on that tee and on that tee shot right there with OB left, OB right. In the past, I've always thought about, not making mistakes, but I was so locked in on what I was actually trying to do. And that's something that I'm working on my mental coach, Dr. Joe Parent, on is, what am I trying to do? And we call it the watch this mindset, because in Q school in years past, in tournaments in years past, I've always, when I've had something I've had to do, whether it's like birdie 4 of my last 5 2 years ago to get my Korn Ferry Tour card, or finish third in the last event of the regular season last year to keep my Korn Ferry Tour card. I've done it, and I feel like that's my hockey and football mindset that kind of seeps through. And it's like, okay, when your back's against the wall, go do something. And on 18T, I needed birdie to win. And I sort of reached down there. I grabbed all those learnings, those teachings that I've learned from football and hockey. And I feel like that really helped me on that tee shot and to execute it, right? It's not always going to happen, right? I'm going to hit some bad shots under those circumstances sometimes, but
Hmm.
to have it happen and in the way that it did, right? Having 2 putts to win on 18, but you don't really want to like lag it up there and then tap it in. It's like, but when it goes in and I have that celebration, it was like pure euphoria.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, it's human nature, James, to like think, okay, you're whatever you are in points, way up there. Obviously, it's super early in the season. Do you think about that stuff? Is that part of any mindset going forward, like maybe changing your schedule, anything like that? Does that change like how you approach a tournament, any of that? I know it's easy to say like, hey, I'm going to like,
Mm-hmm.
I want to keep the same mindset. You want to win. You want to win 3 times and be done with the Corn Ferry Tour as soon as possible. But how about like playing less, playing more? Any of those things change from a win that maybe the casual fan doesn't see?
You know what? I've never been in this situation, so I think that's something I'm going to learn this year. I talked to Hank Labiota last year about it. I was like, "How many weeks in a row do you play?" And he goes, "I play ideally 2, but I've also played 3 in a row, but I never play more than 3 in a row, and I'll also take that fourth week off." And I was like, why? And he goes, well, it's sort of like a diminishing return. If I play 4, I'm not going to play well in that fifth, sixth in a row, right? Because I got to keep playing. So if I take that fourth one off, then I play even better in the in the fifth one that I would in combining the two. So I think there's something to learn from that, but right now I'm going to stick to my schedule that I've laid out. I'm taking Colorado off. I have a friend's wedding in Ireland that I got to go to, and that was a decision I made at the start of the year before anything's happened.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna see how I feel. But again, like my target is 1,300 points, whatever it might be,
Mhm.
right? Like
Yeah.
the not like the you're gonna get your PJ Tour card, and
Mhm.
the win is great. It gives me, job security for the foreseeable future. It gives me other things as well, but that's 500 and 35 points. So I'm halfway there. Like the job's nowhere near finished. And I talked to Akshay about that actually. And I was like, do you think about points? Do you think about where you are in the standings? And he goes, yeah, no, I just think about every term as how many more points can I get to reach that goal that I'm chasing, whether it's, tour championship being one on FedEx or 70 or all the numbers that you have to chase for Corn Ferry. It's 100, 70, 60. I guess this year it's now 60.
Yeah.
It's changing, and then 20, and then that one spot. So I do think about it to answer your question, but in a sense of like, okay, how can I optimize my schedule to get the most amount of points at the end of the year?
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about prior to this, James. Like you've went to DP, played mix of challenge over there in DP, came back here, gone to Q school many times. You've watched your very good friend who you grew up with, Josh, get a quote unquote real job and start to like do those things. Is there any part of you that was like envious of the fact that like, hey man, he has a 9 to 5 job? There's many great things about pro golf. There's other things that are not great. As you got older and watched guys you grew up with who have tried to chase it, go and get real jobs. Not that golf is not a real job. You know what I mean? Like an
I, I
office job.
I understand what you're saying.
Is there any part of you that was like, I know you and I have talked a lot, and you're like, and you outwardly show how much you love the grind, but was like Josh would be someone that you grew up with that literally was like, okay, he did it and chased it and stopped playing. Was there any of us like, man, maybe that is what is ahead for me?
If I was envious of anybody not playing golf, I would not play golf. Right.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in doing whatever you love, whatever that might be. And, I was lucky enough to have gone to a great school and to come from a great family with great connections and great, like, if I want to do something, I could use my degree and the people that I know and go do that. So envious might not be the right word, but would I question it? Right. And think about what it would be like to do something else. Yeah, for sure. I think that's, like you said, human nature. But in like Josh's case, it's like, I don't think he stopped playing golf because, and we talked about it, it's like he just like, hey, this isn't for me. Like I want to go do something else. I want to accept my values and my priorities elsewhere. I want to maybe be in one place more often, but that's just not me. And like when I was growing up, I knew I wanted to play some sort of professional sport. My ultimate dream is to play in the Olympics and win a gold medal. That to me was, watching Miracle on Ice in the 1986 Olympics. Like that was my dream as a kid. And I have friends like Charlie McAvoy is representing Team USA right now over there in Italy. And he texted me yesterday, and I texted him back, and he was like, "Hey, congrats on the win." And I'm like, "Dude, what are you doing? Like you're in the opening ceremony for the Olympics. Like go focus on that. Go win us a gold medal, and then we can talk after, and maybe you can come back and caddy for me again like you did in 2020." But I have seen a lot of people give it up, like you said, like Josh, and there's guys from the Mets section on the other side, like Cameron Young and Chris Gotterup, who obviously Chris is now a world beater,
Yeah.
four-time champ on the PJ Tour. That to me is more appealing than the 9 to 5 work life. So I am more inspired by those two guys than the questions of what I would do if I wasn't playing golf.
All right. Here's the question: if you had a choice, would you play in the Olympics as a hockey player? For those listening, James was a very good high school hockey player. His brother plays college hockey. Would you play in the Olympics as a hockey player or as a golfer?
Oh,
Not
hockey,
forgetting what you do, right?
hockey
Yeah,
player,
okay.
hockey player.
That's what every hockey player
There's
says.
there's
Yeah,
not even like a
yeah.
second of
I
thought
love
there.
golf as much as anything, but if I could go back and like be a goalie again, I would be like, oh my God.
You kidding me? Yeah.
Like I love being a goalie.
Oh man.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I assume that was the answer. That's what every hockey player would say. I would think.
Yeah.
Let's talk on the content side, James. You do a ton of it. It's always good. Is that have you thought about where that fits in? I think it's it's easier to do it when you don't have as much demand on your time, when your card is not on,
Yeah.
like say you're 22nd in points heading into the last two events. You're like, oh shit, I gotta go edit this YouTube or whatever. Have you thought about where content fits in, or has it always been these go hand in hand?
Yeah, that's a great. First, to go back, by the way, my brother texted me yesterday. He was like, "Of course, the one tournament you win, the trophy looks like the Stanley Cup."
Yeah,
And I
of
was
course.
like, "Let's
I know,
go! I love
I did
that."
see that.
I was like, "That's awesome."
Yeah.
So that was really cool. But the content piece is very interesting. I have a million of hate messages and a million, positive messages.
Sure.
People saying all sorts of things. Um, one quick thing about it, like in Bogota, I had what felt like 4,000 people. I don't really know
Yeah.
a lot of people walking the entire Sunday with me, being like, "Go
Mhm.
James, go Nicholas, go!" Like,
Yeah.
and my wife was in the mix of them, and she was like, the amount of people that came up to me and was like, "Oh my God, we follow him on TikTok and Instagram," and like, and kids, we're talking
Yeah.
ranging from 5 to 20 years old. That's why I do it.
Mhm.
Because I can see the inspiration that I've been able to instill, or how I'm able to inspire these kids to chase their dreams, to hopefully one day inspire them to whatever dream it might be, whether it's playing the Korn Ferry Tour, the PJ Tour, whether it's be a great person, a great father, a great husband, great fan, whatever it might be. That's what I try to instill on my platforms, and that's the reward that I get from it. And it is a lot of work. I could easily just sit back and be like, "Hey, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to film any, after this, I'm doing a YouTube recap for
Yeah.
everybody back home because I want to see what it's like." But I think that professional athletes have such an opportunity and such a platform to use for good, and to inspire and to create and to showcase what it's like for people dreaming back home. Because I remember as a kid at the US Open, I was 9 years old in 2006 at Winged Foot, and it's very close to my house. I went to the US Open and I would be like, "Can you please sign this? Can you please sign this?" And then have countless player after player walk by me and not even acknowledge me, not even like, so, and like it hurt, right? It's like, how
Yeah.
could you not, like, and to be in that position again, I am not in that position that those guys were, but to be somewhat on my way there with a following that I have, and then to have some sort of impact on those people's lives for good, it's like it's so invaluable, and it's something that is I cherish so much. So all that work, like you said, of the social media stuff, if I'm 22nd on the points going to the final event, like, it is worth it to me. And it is work. But I do think that my creative mind needs some sort of outlet with golf. So I actually do think it also makes me play a little bit better.
Yeah. Uh, Obviously, there's tons of people that follow you, but go follow James. He did a breakdown. He does a financial breakdown every week. It's finally nice to do a nice one, I assume, James.
Yeah, let's go.
But how about the hell did you get I mean, South America, there's often good deals on Airbnb, but Airbnb at 252 for the week is unreal, dude.
So let me tell you, so it was 570 for the week, which was pretty
Okay. I mean,
standard.
still amazing.
But then we had a flood on day 1, no running water on day 2, no Wi-Fi on day 3. And I'm like, okay, I didn't say anything. And then on day 4, I'm like, all right, like, I need
Yeah.
to shower. And then I
Yeah.
contacted, and the Airbnb was like, "Hey, we'll give you a $275 discount
Oh, nice.
plus a $100 gift card for your next
Wow.
stay." And I was like, "Let's go."
I'm still gonna smell like shit. But yeah. These are the joys of traveling.
I know. I was like, so I was on my hands and knees with 4 towels, like drying up this leak that we have from the washing machine. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh my God, there's a restart. I gotta go back to the course." And I'm like running back to the course. It was a fun week.
Yeah, Jared Hack, a good friend of Mark and I, is playing on the Indian Pro Tour. Won his first start, and
Oh, nice.
they went to his Airbnb this weekend. There was no water, and the owner said, "Sorry, the monkeys have broken the pipes."
Oh my God. That's
It's like, oh, this is it. This is the joy. This is pro golf right here.
Yeah.
James, thanks for everything. Thanks for the time, man. I appreciate it. Go follow James on all of his platforms. Great insight into pro golf. James has always been great to me. I appreciate everything. Always a straight shooter. Controversy, anything. James always picks up the phone. Good times, bad times. I appreciate it very much, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, dude. Really
Of
good.
course.